Oh, is it there? Where's the lock? Well, I have to do this every time. Gurave Gaura Chanda Radhika Tadale Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Can you see it? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer pranams to our Gurudev, Vishnupad, Udandi Swami, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, also our Rupanuga Guru Varga, all devotees, Dandavat pranams. So, the day before yesterday, we speaking this chapter 5 of the first section of Brhad Bhagavatamrita. Narad Muni seeking for the greatest recipient of the mercy of Krishna. He came to the Pandavas, so much he glorified the bhakti of not just Arjuna, but also his mother Kunti, his wife Draupadi, his older brothers Yudhisthira, Bhima, and younger brothers Nakula and Sahadeva. But finally, the Pandavas now giving an answer. Well, I actually said the reason Krishna promoted the glories of the Pandavas in the Rajasuya was not for us, it was to show the difference between the devotees and the non-devotees. One time, Krishna did so much for the Pandavas to glorify them. One time Yudhisthira Maharaj asked, "Oh Krishna, I want a benediction from you." Then Krishna was astonished because devotee never ask anything from Krishna. But even if they do ask something from Krishna, that is always for Krishna. So Krishna asked, "What do you want?" "I want to become king of the whole world. I want to marry the most attractive woman in the world." Like this, many benedictions he asked. Then Krishna smiled and gave those benedictions. Then afterwards he asked Yudhisthira Maharaj, "What is the deep reason behind your asking material things which are the cause of distress?" Then Yudhisthira Maharaj said, "Oh Krishna, many people think if I worship Krishna I lose everything. But I want to show, no, if you worship Krishna you gain everything." So Yudhisthira giving this excuse. Only when the living entities of this world see the pure, variegated and wonderful material and spiritual wealth of your devotees will they come to also worship Krishna. Therefore, no. Krishna giving us all this success and opulence, this is just to preach his own bhakti. Yudhisthira Maharaj saying. So now that Krishna has destroyed our opponents and granted us this kingdom of the entire earth planet, we receive more distress than before. Devotees always same, like when Yudhisthira Maharaj was king of the whole world, still loved Krishna. And when he left everything and had to go to the forest, he also loved Krishna. So he is same in all ways, in all circumstances. The devotee reaches the level of fearlessness. Shiva said to Parvati, "Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibiti swarga upavarga narakestu tulyati darshana." Tulyastu darshanasa. Or just see, Devi, the glories of the Vaisnavas, in all situations they remain equal. Therefore they are fearless. They do not fear heaven, hell, or liberation. They only are dependent on me. If devotee does go to hell, of course, should not, but maybe. If he does go to hell, what he'll do there? Remember Krishna. If devotee does go to the heavenly planets, what he'll do there? Also remember Krishna. And if devotee gets liberation, what he'll do in liberation? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare. So devotee, not interested in anything in this world, they're only interested in Krishna. So Yudhisthira is saying, actually now we have more distress because just for this kingdom, many great devotees and seniors had to give up their life, and juniors, such as Dronacharya and Bhishma Dev. Both are Param Bhagavats, great Vaisnavas, but their lives were taken from them. And even younger devotees such as Abhimanyu and the other sons, as well as many friends and relatives, also died. So Yudhisthira said, now we are experiencing more distress than others. So we think Krishna has not given mercy to us. Swajivanadika prata si Vishnu jana sangate. The association of the Vaishnavas is more dear to us than life itself. Easily we can give up our life, but we don't like to give up the association of the devotees. No, so Yudhisthira is saying many great Vaishnavas had to give up their lives on this battle of Mahabharata. And in separation from those devotees, we cannot feel one moment of real happiness. Of course, the separation of Vaishnavas gives distress, but this distress is actually nectar. In all situations, Vaishnavas are blissful. Ramananda Roy said in his conversation with Lord Chaitanya, Vaishnav dukh kona dukh gurata. Of all the type of misery which is the most miserable, then Ramananda Roy answered, there is only separation from the Vaishnavas, there is no other pain. So jadi Vaishnav dukh dekhi vyavahar nishta jata paramananda sukh. Tadi jani Vaishnav vyavahari dukh nishta janita paramananda sukh. If you see a Vaishnav suffering worldly miseries, actually that is only one Paramananda, one supreme bliss. So anyway, still point is being there is no pain in this world greater than separation from the devotees of the Lord. So Yudhisthira said, you call us the recipient of the mercy of Krishna, but so many Vaishnavas now, they had to give up their bodies because of us. So how we can be the recipient of Krishna's mercy? Also, Sri Krishna Badanamboja Sandarasha Sukham Chatat. For a long time we have not experienced the bliss of seeing Krishna's charming lotus face. Therefore, where is Krishna's mercy? Where is Krishna now? He only sometimes comes to Hastinapur, but he is always present in Dwarka. This spoken 5,200 years ago. So he is only present in Dwarka. He is always present. There he gives so unending happiness to his brothers and the supremely devoted Yadavas. So the Pandavas said, now sometimes you see Krishna performing some work here for us as our messenger, as our chariot driver. But actually Krishna performing these activities just to remove the burden of the earth and to protect religious principles from sinful activity. So Krishna doing all this out of sense of duty. That time Bhima laughed loudly. Oh Narad, you must have learned all these cheating words from Krishna. So Bhima he said, the pastimes of Krishna are deep and difficult to understand like the ocean. Krishna is the source of the illusory energy. Yet at the same time, he is the guru of all clever persons. Therefore, the association of Krishna must have some effect. So now you must have all these clever words from Krishna Chandra. That time, Arjuna also began to speak with his sighs and trembling heart. So he said, why we are so distressed? This is not that we have received the mercy of Krishna. What distress Arjuna is suffering? That some Jnani Bhakti means a devotee who has full knowledge of Krishna's position. So when grandfather Bhima Pitamaha was fighting with Arjuna, he was thinking, oh, if I can put Arjuna into trouble, then Krishna will have to protect him, then Krishna will have to take some weapon. So Arjuna, grandfather Bhima, gave his full energy to fighting with Krishna. At that time he also put some arrows into the body of Krishna. Why? Bhimsen knows Krishna is God. His body is Sachidananda. He has a body made of eternality, knowledge and bliss. He has no material body, so he feels no pain, no. I cannot wound him, I cannot give him any distress. His body is eternal. So with his knowledge, he was putting his weapons into Krishna. So Arjuna said, when I think of this, my heart also feels so much pain. Because Arjuna is much more intimate to Krishna than grandfather Bhima. Arjuna is the Saka of Krishna, the friend of Krishna, but grandfather Bhima is Jnani Bhakta. So Arjuna said, when I think of this, I still feel distress and pain. Because of me, Krishna is suffering all this. So why would Krishna perform, if Krishna is giving mercy to me, why he would perform these activities to give distress to me? Also, Krishna spoke so much knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita. One may say Krishna gave so much mercy to Arjuna. But Arjuna said this knowledge is just for the dry jnanis, not for the devotees. This is fact actually. If you look in Gurudev's commentary in the Bhagavad Gita, again and again when Krishna is giving so many instructions to Arjuna to do yoga, to do pranayam, to offer all his activities to Krishna to become free from sin, then Arjuna hearing all this and Arjuna feel distress. What Krishna think? My love for him is so much weak. No. So actually Arjuna thinking like that, I am Krishna's pure friend and Krishna giving me all these type of instructions. So Arjuna said, when I think of Krishna's instructions that he spoke to me in Bhagavad Gita, I just feel distress. And I remind how deceitful, how Krishna deceived us. Just like one example, if you tell some husband to think of his wife, does he have to sit in meditation and do breathing exercises to focus the intelligence on one point? No. Because he has natural affection for his wife and children, no need to do any meditation or mechanical yoga exercises. So when Krishna was instructing Arjuna on all these things, Arjuna felt so much pain and distress. Krishna must think my love for him is very weak. So Arjuna said like that. Nakula and Sahadeva said, Krishna gave us many encouragement in times of danger and encouraged us to perform both the Rajasuya and the Asvamedya, different types of sacrifices. In this way, Krishna increased our fame and our kingdom, but we do not consider this to be the mercy of Krishna. Krishna has deceived us by giving us all these things and going away. Actually, this is nature of devotion. Like we hear, Vrindavan has so much opulence, like an ocean. But in separation from Krishna, that Vrindavan give no happiness whatsoever to the Brijavasis. They do not like Krishna's things, they like only Krishna. So, Nakula and Sahadeva said, yes, Krishna gave us some mercy. He agreed to be worshipped by us first. But now he left us. We cannot. He cheated us by giving us all these things. And now we cannot even him. Even Krishna's darshan is rarely attained by us. So hearing this from her husbands, Draupadi also began to weep with deep grief. And she said, "O Krishna is my very confidential pran saka, very dear friend. And Krishna protected me many times. Many times Krishna saved Draupadi. No? From both the wicked Duryodhana and Dusasan. No. Dusasan tried to strip Draupadi naked. Duryodhana also tried many ways to disrespect her. And Krishna did. He protected us times. But what happened? But now my father Draupadi has been killed. Drushtadumna, her brother, has been killed. As well as my sons like Pratibindab. Draupadi had one son each also by her 5 husbands. These 5 sons also were killed at the end of the Mahabharata war. So Draupadi said, I know this is the will of Krishna, but still I hoped for some favorable result. But I see there is no favorable result from Krishna. I would hope that Krishna would stay with us and he would talk to us and please us by his clever and witty talks, his sweet words. But we are now so much unfortunate. He does not come, he stays in Dwarka. How can it be said that we have received the mercy of Krishna? Actually, these are all different ecstatic emotions in the heart of the devotee. Different sanchari bhav. Devotee has 33 vyabhachari or sanchari bhav. They come and go. So all these, like depression, despondency, detachment, these are all temporary emotions which come one another in the heart of devotee like waves. Sometimes devotee feels this ecstasy, sometimes this ecstasy. So we should not misunderstand the so-called, depression of a Vaishnava, the despondency of a Vaishnava. Because these always give bliss, it never give distress. So Kunti also said, at one time I thought that Krishna had given more mercy to me than even his own mother, Devaki. But now, I think that Krishna has not given even us one drop of his mercy. Because why now in the 10 directions we just hear the weeping and the wailing of the widowed wives, of the children without fathers, the parents who have lost their son in this Mahabharata war. Or my relatives have been killed and now I am deprived of Krishna's darshan. Or now we just have this material wealth without Krishna's association. So what mercy is this? Krishna thought, I've given the Pandavas what they wanted, the kingdom, and now he has left us and he constantly resides in the holy city of Dwarka. Krishna performs his pastimes in 3 places, Vrindavan, Mathura and Dwarka, and other places here and there, but these 3 are main. So, therefore Kunti said, O Narad, Bhagawan, she calls Narad Bhagawan because the devotee who keeps Bhagawan in the heart, they also Bhagawan, but they are Ashray Bhagawan. So, therefore Kunti Devi said, Narad, you should approach the Pandavas. The Pandavas are where? You should now approach the Yadavas in Dwarka, Krishna's own family members. They are always absorbed in the ocean of inexpressible, unparalleled ecstasy. They are the greatest recipient of the mercy of Krishna. How can I describe their good fortune? Why Krishna sometimes comes to us, then leaves, but he always stays in Dwarka. Always. The residents of Dwarka can see Krishna while eating, while sleeping, while talking. Krishna has entered into even marriage and blood relationships with them. They always enjoy the great bliss of Krishna's intimate association. So, hearing that, Narad in 1 second went to the city of Dwarka. So, he entered the city and fell like a stick that is called Pandavas, to offer respects to all those devotees. He saw all the Yadavas sitting in one assembly, that is Dharma Sabha. From the heavenly planets, Krishna brought one assembly hall that is called the Sudama Sabha. If you just need 2 people for a meeting, it becomes the size 1 room for 2 people. If 100,000 people go to the meeting, it expands to that size. It's always the perfect temperature. There's no disease, no too hot, no cold. No, it's described. Now when he saw the thousands of Yadavas, thousands were there. Krishna married 16,108 queens. From each queen he had 10 sons and 1 daughter. So each of those sons also married children. So Krishna is direct as well. His father, Vasudeva, had 18 other wives. So these also Yadavas. From them come unlimited children also, as well as millions of servants and others. So these all collected, they are called the Yadavas. So, Yadavas were sitting in terms of seniors there, junior and more junior. So as we're looking divine, handsome. Of course, the women not less, of course. Like Rukmi, Satyabhama, the others, these are like God, these are God, Mahalakshmi, goddesses of fortune. So all will look decorated with so many divine ornaments and garlands of parijat flowers. There was so much singing and dancing going on. Singers were singing the glories of Krishna. Dancing was there. There was so much bliss. That bliss was manifested in the form of joking and laughing conversations. Even the sun appeared insignificant compared to the effulgence coming from their bodies. Yet at the same time, if you look at the sun, you feel a burning sensation. At the same time, these Yadavas had so much sweetness. You look at their effulgence, you not feel any pain. At the same time, they had a cooling influence like millions of moons. All these Yadavas, Nanavida, Mahadivya, Vibhusan, Vichitravan, all these Yadavas were decorated with divine ornaments. Because they were always drinking the nectar from the lotus face of Krishna, especially Krishna and Balaram, even though they were old, they were always youthful. Even the old people looked youthful. They had a vibrant youth. That is nature of Vaishnava. Even though they may be, it seems, materially, externally very old, they are always youthful and childish. Therefore, sitting on the main throne was King Ugrasen, the father of Kamsa. Everyone's eyes and mind were looking towards the doorway where Krishna will enter. Thus, countless Yadavas were absorbed in the narration and discussion and hearing of Krishna's name, form, qualities and pastimes. Even though they have so much wealth and opulence, their life and soul is topics of Krishna. Machita matkata prana badayantis parasparam katamritas chamam nityam tusyanti cha ramanti cha. Krishna says, devotees, their nature, their minds and heart always devoted to me. they give bliss to one another by always speaking about it. So, all the Yadavas absorbed in Shravan, Kirtan, Vishnu Smaran, hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, and remembering Krishna. So, as soon as Narad Muni, all the Yadavas stood up to respect, because Narad is such a famous and great Vaishnava and saint. So Narad fell on the ground, but quickly they picked him up, and catching his hand, they took him into the assembly. But Narad, out of humility, did not sit on the great seat they offered. He sat on the ground. So to respect his mood, all the Yadavas surrounded him, also sitting on the ground. Now, this is Vaishnava etiquette. So, behavior of spiritual life. They brought many paraphernalia for the worship of Narad. They said if you have wealth, you can give many things to Gurudev or Vaishnava to welcome them. If you have nothing, at least you can give a glass of water or mat. But even if you don't have that, you can welcome with sweet words. So whatever you have, you should use for the service of Guru and Vaishnavas. So, but Narad took all that paraphernalia. They worshipped him. And Narad began to speak the glories of the Yadavas, which he had heard from the Pandavas. The Yadavas, we consider them to be eternal associates. Okay, there are two types of souls. There are souls who always forget Krishna. Since time without beginning, they're changing from one material body to another, to the next, captured in the cycle of birth and death. They're called Nityabada, Anadibada. They're bound since time without memorial, time without beginning. But all souls are not like us. Another class of souls are called the Nityasiddhas, the eternally perfected souls. So, also perfected souls of different types. Some achieve perfection by spiritual practice, sadhan-siddhas. Some achieve perfection by kripa, by mercy of Bhagavan or the saints. And some, the most fortunate, are called, and most elevated, are called the Nityasiddhas, the eternally perfected souls. So, Narad said, O Yadavas, Baho Krishna Padabja Maha Anukampita. You are transcendental to this world. You have achieved the extraordinary mercy of Krishna. So give your mercy to me, so I constantly can sing of your glories. How glorious is this dynasty of Krishna, the Yadu dynasty. This family line is have greater good fortune than even the residents of Vaikuntha. That is a fact also. No? Above the Vaikuntha planets are the residents of the associates of Ram, Sanket down. But even above the abode of Bhagavan Ramachandra is the abode of Dwarka. So the associates of Dwarka, they're even more fortunate, they have more devotion, they taste even more bliss than the residents of Vaikuntha. And because you have now placed your lotus feet on this earth planet has also become more glorious than Vaikuntha. No? Rupa Goswami said, Vaikuntha janato vara madhupuri tata atiratsutsa. This earth planet is more fortunate than even Vaikuntha. Why? Because in Vaikuntha, Krishna never performs pastimes like stealing bata or Ras Leela or other things, but these pastimes he performs here on this earth planet. So this earth planet is more fortunate even than Vaikuntha. So Narad Muni says, O earth, your good fortune has awoken because these Yadavas have now placed their lotus feet upon you. They reside and sport in many ways upon you. The associate Bhagavan Sri Krishna also resides in the houses of these same Yadavas. Therefore, how much fortune they have. Okay, hear carefully. The Yadavas are always bound to Krishna with a very strong bond of love. Why are they always seeing Krishna, touching Krishna, conversing with Krishna, following Krishna, sitting down with Krishna, eating with Krishna, sleeping with Krishna, and even entering into marriage relationships with Krishna? Therefore, Krishna has forgotten the resident, the spiritual world of Vaikuntha. He feels so much bliss here on this earth planet, surrounded by his associates, the Yadavas. These are all true things too, no? You are also, Krishna is bound to you. You are also bound to Krishna. Because of your affection to Krishna, you have forgotten your family ties to even your own sons and wives. This family relationship, Griha Geha Shrinkala, this family attachment that we have to mother and father, brothers, sisters, wives and own children, relatives, this very strong like an iron chain. Stronger than an iron chain, because an iron chain rusts after and breaks after a few years, but this bondage, birth after birth, keeps us here. But through devotion to Krishna, they've all forgotten all these relationships. They've become free from it. So Maharaj, Adirajan, so Ugrasen, you are the King of Kings. Who can describe your good fortune? Just see how Sri Hari is now subjugated by the affection of the Yadavas. Who can speak of your glories, Ugrasen? Even Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, even he stands before Ugrasen like this, waiting for some instruction from you. Krishna says, "Oh, Ugrasen, Maharaj Ugrasen, please hear me. I'm your humble servant. Please give me some instruction." So even Krishna bows to the Yadavas like that. Then now when he's thinking why I should not do so also. Actually, this is one mystery. And for this, many demons also disrespect Krishna. Krishna is not even a king. He's this or that. He's the chamcha. He's the servant of Ugrasen. For this activity, many people also disrespect Krishna. Actually, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he feels a happiness giving that position to the devotees. Actually, in Krishna's dynasty, there was one Yadu Maharaj, and he was a great devotee. So, Yadu's father, his name was Jajati Maharaj. He married two wives, one Kshatriya and one Devayani and one Sarmista, two wives, and don't mind if I say two women together with some argument. So one wife was dissatisfied by him showing affection to the other wife. She went to her father Sukracharya, who cursed him with old age. Then Yati Maharaj said, "Oh, Maharaj, this is not just a curse to me, it's a curse to your wife, your daughter, because your daughter is very lusty. How can she fulfill her lusty desires with an old man like me?" So Sukracharya said, "You may exchange your old age with someone's youth if they agree." So Yati had 4 sons. He called the oldest Yadu Maharaj and gave him the proposition. "Oh son, this body comes from me. Therefore, it is the duty of the son to use the body in the service of the parents. So I request you to give me your youth and take my old age." But Yadu Maharaj perfectly knew what is religion. He thought, why I give my youth to my father who will just waste it in sensual enjoyment? The goal of the human life, form of life, is not for enjoyment, especially sexual happiness, because sexual happiness is available in all species of life, even dog, cat, fish, rat, animal. We have not come to Vrindavan for all these things, marriage ceremonies and all this. So knowing perfectly what is religion, Yadu Maharaj refused. He wanted to keep his youth for bhajan. If his father became angry, "Oh, you think I will die and you will enjoy the kingdom? I curse you, neither you or your sons will become king." So Krishna, being controlled by the affection of Yadu Maharaj, he appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. of course, Krishna is independent. No curse of anyone can have any influence on him. There's a saying, if a crow curses a cow, does the cow experience any bad luck? No. But still, Krishna, following some rules of this world, Marjada, even though he is independent, he chose to accept this. So he not accepted the position of king, he gave that position to Ugrasen Maharaj. So this way Krishna bewildered the demons, and Krishna gives so much happiness to the devotees. So, that time when all the Yadavas heard Narad Muni speaking like this, they touched the feet of Narad and spoke, "Oh Devashi Narad, you are respected even by Sri Krishna himself. Then why are you again and again offering obeisances to low-class persons like us? If anyone has the slightest connection with Krishna, then he achieves all kinds of spiritual accomplishments. He develops all good qualities, like he becomes an ocean of mercy, and he becomes the friend of everyone." Oh. So Krishna is the ocean of boundless glories. Simply remembering Krishna, one gets all benefit also, just by remembering Krishna. He said, Yad Namadeya Shravananu Kirtanat, Yad Pranavada Api Smarana Api Kvachit. If one just remembers Krishna, what to speak of hearing his name or chanting his name, if one just remembers Krishna, all sins become destroyed. No? He becomes eligible to perform all the greatest Vedic sacrifices. Just by remembering Krishna, he becomes perfect and purified. So the Yadavas very cleverly say, what you say we cannot deny, because anyone who remembers Krishna will achieve all perfection and opulence. So we cannot deny that. But still, amongst all of us, there is one who has really received all the mercy of Krishna. And that is Uddhava. He is minister, disciple, servant, and most beloved of Krishna. So now the Yadavas describe. Bhagavatam also says, Brishniva Parevo Mantri. Of all the Brishnis, the Yadavas, Uddhava is considered the topmost. Why? He's so much intelligent. Any problem, even Krishna asked Uddhava, what should I do? No, actually, it was Uddhava who gave the idea to the Pandavas how to kill Jarasandha. So now the devotees of Dwarka describe the good fortune of Uddhava. Actually, we are not, they say, we are not the recipient of mercy, because many times Krishna leaves also, he leaves Dwarka and goes to another place. And even when he returns, we cannot feel happiness because we are always fearful when Krishna will leave again. We do not know when Krishna will leave. So this fear always gives distress to us. Therefore, even though we see in Krishna this distress, this fear disturbs us. However, Uddhava is always with Krishna. Uddhava is never separate from Krishna. Therefore, Uddhava achieves the most complete happiness by always being with Krishna. Why? Sometimes Uddhava, Krishna also sends Uddhava as his own messenger. No, the Pandavas used Krishna as his messenger, but Krishna uses Uddhava as his messenger. So in that way he is considered superior to the Pandavas. No? For example, when there was, Duryodhana had one daughter, her name was Lakshmana. So he wanted to marry, naturally father wants to marry his daughter to a proper person. There was one Swayamvar competition, means the girl can choose her own husband, the greatest hero. So many kings who are desirous to marry their girl, they come and there's some fight, some competition, and the winner, he takes the girl, or the girl chooses him. So Duryodhana was arranging the marriage of his daughter, then the kings of the whole world came, but Samba means Krishna, Krishna's son Aniruddha, Aniruddha's son Bajranath, like this. Anyway, Aniruddha's son, Samba. So I think that's how it goes. So Samba kidnapped her. Now, at that time, all the Kurus became very angry. Who is this fellow? Think he is? Because they considered themselves superior to the Yadavas. So that time Krishna said, no, don't fight. We are related to the Kurus. So he sent Uddhava along with Balaram also, because Balaram also was the guru of Duryodhana. He also related to both sides. So Balaram went with Uddhava. Uddhava went to the Pandavas, to the Kurus to say, oh, Baladev is here. Well, so how much faith Krishna have in Uddhava? So Uddhava always remains with Krishna. Even when Krishna eats, plays, he sports with Krishna. When Krishna finishes his meal, Uddhava eats that. Sometimes Uddhava massages the feet of Krishna. He falls asleep with Krishna's feet on his lap. And very happily he takes rest like that. Sometimes Uddhava, even when Krishna performs some intimate meeting, that time Krishna takes also Uddhava. Even when Krishna meets with his wives, that time Uddhava also goes there. Wow. So Uddhava also gives so much happiness because Uddhava is the servant of Krishna. He's also the friend of Krishna. So he gives so much happiness to Krishna by his joking words. And Krishna appreciates that joking very much. So all the Kurus said, all the Yadavas said, who can measure the good fortune of Uddhava? From childhood he's absorbed in the lotus feet of Krishna. Like normal children play with cowboy guns and toy cars and stuff. But Uddhava as a baby, he would play with little dolls of Krishna. Uddhava alone manifests the glories of Krishna's service in this world. No? He achieved a form similar to Krishna. Actually, Uddhava was from North India. So generally people from North India are a little golden complexion, light-skinned. No? But because he's so much absorbed in Krishna, he had a dark complexion. So he has a form even similar to Krishna. He abandoned his fair complexion and received the same complexion as Krishna. Uddhava is even more beautiful than Pradyumna. Wow, I didn't know that. Learn something new every day. And Pradyumna is considered the incarnation of Cupid. Right? When Shiva was meditating, that time there was one demon called Tripura. He could only be killed by the son of Shiva. But Shiva had no son because always absorbed in meditation on the feet of Bhagavan. So all the demigods asked Cupid to go and disturb the heart of Shiva. So when Shiva was meditating, Cupid fired his 5 arrows. No. We are attracted by the opposite sex by their fragrance, by the sound of their voice, by the touch of their hands, by the sight of their form. In this way, 5 ways people are attracted in this world, by Cupid. So Cupid used these 5 things to attract the heart of Shiva. Shiva became disturbed. Who is disturbing me? He looked, and he opened his 3rd eye and burnt Cupid to ashes. That time Cupid's wife is called Rati, or attraction. So she was lamenting. Then I think Shiva gave benediction, don't worry, he will take birth as the son of Krishna. Pradyumna. So Uddhava is even more beautiful than Cupid, than Pradyumna. And he is very dear to Krishna. He always decorated himself with the flower garland, remnants of Krishna. He wears the yellow cloth, remnants of Krishna. He wears the shark-shaped earrings of Krishna. He wears the waist bells of Krishna, ankle bell remnants of Krishna. From a distance, we think we are seeing Krishna. So he gives so much happiness to us. We think we are with Krishna when we see him. So, when Narad heard all this, he became very ecstatic. He wanted to go to see Uddhava. But Ugrasen stopped him. And what happened? We will hear probably day after tomorrow. Wonderful, wonderful meeting of Narad Muni with Uddhava. That time Krishna also came. They described the glories of the Braja Gopis. And afterwards there's a wonderful, wonderful Nava Vrindavan Lila. This all coming up in the next few days. Mostly we finished chapter 5. So chapter 6 will begin the day after tomorrow. Okay, don't miss it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Go Premanandi.